3060, you're fired. 3080, fired. 3060 Ti, fired. OCTOMINER, fired. OCTOMINER Junior, fired. Fired, 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 fired. What's going on, everyone, and welcome to the RabidMining YouTube channel. So it's kind of a sad day. I did have to fire about 50% of my employees. By employees, I mean my GPUs. They are just not pulling their weight. Now we do have this JazzMiner Q here, some Ipollos over there, and this other JazzMiner Mosquito Miner, which are barely getting by. They're on the brink of getting fired, but they are currently making altogether a little over $2 per day after power. So they're still okay for now. So yeah, guys, GPU mining is not looking too hot right now. So I have been taking things apart and cleaning. So if you saw my last video there, this was, pretty much a dusty, dirty mess, but it's starting to look pretty nice now, almost brand new. Now, I didn't make it to the OCTOMINER X8 yet, but it is coming. We currently took the vacuum apart, and that is what I use to clean, as well as my air compressor, which I'll get to in a little bit here. But we're cleaning out our vacuum, so it's taken apart, so I'm going to have to continue this tomorrow while I wait 24 hours for that thing to actually clean up here. But look at this. That is pretty, can you even see that? Not really, but I guess you can see my finger track there. Look at that line going across. That is not a decal. That is legit dust right there. So I got a lot of cleaning to do with these ones still, but these bad boys, they are complete and they pretty much look brand new now, minus some dust still on the connectors and whatnot here. That's okay. But as for the GPUs, they're coming out pretty nice. You saw that other video, everything was pretty dusty, but now they're like brand new. So what I did do here, we'll go through. Got a 3090, Zotac 3060 Ti. This is actually legitimately one of my best cards. This is an original non-LHR. Now, once they did start turning LHR and stuff on, I don't know if they cut corners to increase production or something with the shortages, but then the fans turned to garbage. But these are still the original fans from the non-LHR days, first release of the 3060 Ti's, and these have been going strong, 65% fans for the last 2 years, I guess, since they have been released. So, this is actually a really good GPU and one of my most efficient ones in the 3060 Ti range. We got three A2000s here. We got three 3060 Ti from Gigabyte. These are also non-LHR. Got two 3060 Ti Founders Editions. And then we got a 3070 and another A2000. So what I did for cleaning purposes is we have a Dyson vacuum. And I just took initially the little attachment here on the hose and I just went across everything. And then I took these out to the garage and then I have an air compressor out there and I blew them all out with air. And then I laid them down here. Now, air compressors, especially once you start losing air pressure, you do not want to blow it when it gets too low because you will get a lot of moisture that may be in the air around you. So keep that in mind when doing that. Also, there may be moisture in the air itself. So it is recommended to let them sit for a while. Obviously, I have no plans to be throwing GPU mining rigs online, so they're probably going to be sitting for a little while. We'll take a GPU here and there, do some testing on some coins, but right now they're just laid out, hanging out. I don't plan on selling anything at all, but we will be doing some testing. And if we find something, maybe we'll turn something on for a day, maybe we won't. As we know, we can definitely game. If we know what we're doing, we can play the ergo difficulty to a T, and it's profitable probably once a week because just of the way that thing adjusts. So keep that in mind too. Do a little research on ergo. I have done some videos in the past. Check it out. But ergo is potentially profitable if you mine it at the right time. You don't look at the hash rate number, look at the difficulty number. Now, I do still have the other 50% of my staff working, and that is in terms of I still have that mini Doge Pro on. I should probably turn it off. We do have that KD box on, KD Pro I suppose it is. That's still on. It's still at least covering its power and then some. But the CPUs are still doing pretty well. They're mining away. They're making about 30 USD per day currently still, so that's good. I am getting about a 0.0015 BTC payout at least every 24 hours. Some days I'm getting 2 payouts a day. So if I actually just hodl, I'm gonna have to sell for power. But if I could afford power, which I can't, I do use my crypto for paying my power, I am on track to mine 1 Bitcoin with my CPUs in a year and a half. That's actually pretty sweet thinking about that. A year and a half, I will have 1 full Bitcoin just from mining with my CPU mining rigs, as long as everything remains as is. We're moving into that bear market. It's going to be kind of hard to see what happens at that point. You got to be very, very active to be mining on your CPUs. And I have a fair bit of them. I can't remember how many I have altogether. I think I'm around 24 rigs or something like that. But personally myself, I have enjoyed CPU mining for a very long time. My whole crypto journey started on my workstation, and then I slowly made enough XMR to build a complete rig. It took about a year on my gaming PC, and then I built my first dedicated CPU miner, and then from there I pretty much just expanded from there. Like, it just went up there, and I just loved CPU mining. And I was like, you know, this is actually working out really well. I seen what was happening with the numbers, with the merge, you know, over the past year and a half. We didn't know if it was actually going to go through or not, but eventually we all knew it would. So I slowly went like a 50-50 way in. So I had like 30 some GPUs or something, and I also now have about 24 CPUs. So I almost have a 50-50 split in terms of how much I spent. I spent a little more on my CPUs, I guess, maybe $1,000, $2,000 more, but they're pretty close to a 50-50 split here, and I pretty much balanced everything out to as much as I possibly can. And yes, you know, some people laughed at me. A lot of people said CPU mining is garbage, it'll never be profitable, or you can only mine XMR, and that most people think all you can mine is XMR. But there's a lot of coins on CPUs that you can mine, and you got to be very active, take a look at it, move around a lot, but you can remain fairly profitable of it. And now, seeing how Ethereum is gone and everyone's fighting over networks, I have no issues mining on my CPUs because they are still nice and profitable. They're definitely covering power costs, and like I just said earlier, I'm on track to mine 1 full Bitcoin in like a year and a half or so. So that is actually pretty sweet. So here I just pretty much wanted to go over what I am currently doing at my little mini mining farm, and that is cleaning out my GPUs, looking for something that may be profitable, and then at that point doing some testing. Now I'm going to go through my little worksheets and stuff in some other video. I'm going to show you guys how to set them up, and if you guys are curious about that, it's how I actually do determine profitability without using what to mine at all. I don't really use what to mine because I have most of the coins in mine, and I gotta go by 24-hour averages, 1-hour averages, and so on. I can just look at a coin, figure out what its hash rate is based on its difficulty, and I know if I should point my GPU or my CPU or whatever at it. So I am going to be doing that sometime in the future here. A lot of you guys have been reaching out to me as well to start like a consulting service. So I actually kind of want to get your guys' opinions on that. Is that something you guys would be curious about? Maybe I'll start a store on my website, RabidMining.com. And, you know, maybe I will do a little consulting service, you know, maybe I have a monthly fee or something for that. Because some of you guys said, hey, will you do a monthly fee or an extra membership, or, you know, an expensive one, and then give us inside tips a couple times a week of coins you're mining, stuff you see, potential stuff. And this is something I could definitely look in for you. I'm doing most of the work already, trying to find stuff that's profitable for me. So if you guys want something like that, let me know in the comments below, and maybe I'll try to set something up like that. Regardless, guys, thank you for watching this video. I am half done cleaning out my GPUs. Hopefully I'll get all those ones done tomorrow, including that whole OCTOMINER rig. And then I may be able to get some GPUs online again. And I know you guys, your eyeballs are opening up right now like, what? Getting GPUs online? What are you going to mine? What is it? And it's hilarious because no one's talking about the main go-to coins anymore. Everyone's talking about Meow coin and this coin and that coin. And it's hilarious how, you know, we find the value now in coins that nobody ever talked about. And there is value to be siphoned out of these coins and potentially throw into something like Bitcoin or Flux or Ergo or whatever you think could be a massive mover in the future, or maybe the next go-to coin. We're currently just finding it now, or it's not even here yet for that future pump. We don't know, but right now we're in very interesting crypto times. We're all 100% spec mining. I like to look at this whole situation before Ethereum was gone. Mining anything else, we were all pretty much pre-mining everything. So now the pre-mine is over. So what do we do? So it's kind of interesting times here. Things are very crazy at this point in time, but you know what? There is a bright future still. I really do think there is. It's going to take probably a good year or two before we start seeing hash rate drop off, or anything for that matter, but we're going to see it happen. It will happen for sure. But thank you for watching, guys. I will see you on the next one. Keep your heads up. Rabid out.